Hello everybody, Starshot here to welcome you back to another Let's Play of Legend of Heroes. We last left off going off to find Zin, and of course starting up our tournament with, in the Grand Arena, and winning our first match against the Ravens, who we fought back in Ruin. But now that we gotten that all taken care of and finished, we can go ahead and let's see, what do we do next? Oh yeah, we need to report back to the guild. And then of course, tomorrow morning we can check out the Gransel sewers. Because apparently there are some strong monsters there we can take on and level up a little bit if need be. And I think we might need to, because we'll be going up either against the Intelligence Division or facing off against our rival Bracers. So let's go ahead and get started at the Bracer Guild reporting in. Of course, just reporting in doesn't really do anything since we haven't done any quests, so we actually have to talk to them. Estelle, Joshua, congratulations on your victory. Thank you, thank you. Wait, how'd you know already? Grant already reported in. So how was it? Honestly, it felt more like surviving than actually winning. And Joshua explained that there were Sky Bandits and Special Ops teams. I see. I'd heard that the Sky Bandits were given special permission to participate. But I must admit, I'm surprised to hear about the Special Ops. Particularly that their leader is so powerful. The team was pretty tough, but that commander was, like, on a different level altogether. He moved like a cat and was swinging that huge sword around like it was a toy. I could barely believe he was human the way he was fighting. Yeah, what she said. Elnan, what do you know about 2nd Lieutenant Lawrence's personal history? Nothing, I'm afraid. The Intelligence Division is new, and Colonel Richard suppressed all information regarding them since their official inception. That includes information on the Lieutenant. Drat. Joshua? You seem pretty caught up with that guy in red. Is there something we should be watching out for? No, we just need to know who we're facing, that's all. Anything that can give us an edge in the tournament. Ah, good point. Knowing your enemy is the best way to beat him, after all. Actually, that doesn't concern the lieutenant exactly. Or, this doesn't concern the lieutenant exactly. Today at noon, a military patrol vessel arrived at the landing port. Its passenger was the colonel's right-hand woman, Captain, Ametha. I keep going back and forth with her name because I'm not quite sure how to pronounce it. Like Amethia? That is news. Captain Amethia? Is that the sneaky fox-faced woman? That witch who used Cheetah to threaten the professor? She's traveling through all of the major cities. Her arrival was unexpected and caused all civilian airship lines to run late. Yeah, that doesn't bode well. A tour of the major cities. Sounds like a cover for her to hunt down the professor. We've got all branches investigating her trip very carefully. We'll let you know as soon as we learn anything. You two just focus on the tournament for now. You bet. Thanks so much for all your help. So it looks like we got that taken care of. And there are no requests on the board, so I think all we have to do now is go to our inn and rest up. And it is handy to have the Bracer book here and how they were able to work it out into the story, since for the most part it's pretty much just gives us all the reason to pretty much be able to never lose track of what we need to do or where we need to go. This, since this game is pretty long, it's nice to have that sort of reference. Of course, now I'm trying to remember where that the history museum. We should probably check it out here just quickly if there's anything going on. Because I guess I wasn't quite sure if there was any quests or hidden side things going on over here or not. But it looks like they did try to put in plenty of stuff to read up on and figure out, you know, helps kind of set a bigger world building for the story. You know, and they even have all these little objects like a medieval loom apparently. Definitely gives it kind of a more realistic feel to it, even though we have these orbmans who kind of allow people to cast magic and run things they normally couldn't. And our old friend Alba here enjoying the history museum. But it doesn't look like there's anything in particular to kind of keep an eye on for or look out for, so we should probably just head out to the inn and rest up to continue the story. Oh hey, it's the sister we saved from the forest. I sort of feel like there's more to her than meets the eye, though. I'm not sure. It's sort of just a gut feeling I have. But then again, I feel like using the sister disguise has been a common trope in plenty of different games. Okay, I don't think this is the inn we're looking for. And I know there's the church. And what's this? Oh, Harbor District. So apparently somewhere we can't go to quite yet. Like, I know the list... Oh yeah, lodgings is in blue. So I need to try and find that, because I'm not sure why I'm having trouble trying to find it now. But, you know, then again, I'm not really using my map now, am I? Of course, they don't make it very easy to find it either. Like, it's not in the usual areas you're, you know, in most of the time. Okay, there we go. I just had to look in the north block here. So, you're finally back. You sure know how to keep a fellow waiting. Hey, I know that voice. Good to see you, Neil. How have you been? Don't tell me you came here just to see little old us. Okay then, I won't tell you. I'm doing interviews with the tourney contestants for my article. I figured you folks would be my best bet for getting the inside story. I was hoping I'd get a chance to ambush you into an interview at the hotel. You're way too good at your job, you know that? Well, it's not that we're not glad to see you, but this is you we're talking about. What's your angle? Hunting for the next big story, I'll bet? Ha! You wound me to the quick, kid. I've been like a big brother to you, and you scratch my back, I scratch yours. And now you think of me as nothing but a news hound. We know you're nothing but a news hound. Not to mention the age difference is a little much for us to think of you as a brother. Oh, shut it. If you think that's how you're going to be, then I'm leaving, and you're coming with me. I wouldn't mind a little night air before bed. Good, we're halfway there then. There's this quaint little eatery right next door to where I work. It's the perfect place to sit and talk. Oh, it's over in the West Block too. Hey, this is a nice little place. Feels less like a bar and more like a coffee shop. That might explain the smell of coffee. I hear the owner started up this place as a hobby. The brew here is amazing. Plus, he took some advice from someone later on and added curry rice to the menu. Curry with authentic spices. I just like the atmosphere out here, though, personally. Have a seat. Let's get this interview started. Not so fast. We were just in that big match, so we're pretty damned hungry. I'm not about to smell food without eating food. Dinner does sound lovely right about now, actually. Ugh, damn kids. Fine, I'll buy you dinner. And while you're stuffing your faces, you can give me the exclusive on any news you found. And there's the pitch. By the way, isn't Dorothy with you today? Nah, I gave her something else to work on. Now come on, inside with the both of you. Phew, the food in here sure is spicy. Tasty though. Nothing beats ribs covered in sauce with some potatoes that are cooked just right. I like a good cup of coffee after a meal myself. I've always heard it's difficult to make it well. Bah, way to eat up a man's paycheck, you guys. I don't know how I'm supposed to afford all of this on a reporter's salary. Now, it was a great meal, and great meals don't come cheap. Okay, now, you were saying something about an interview? I could write a story about extortion. Moving on, there ain't been much to confirm that the Queen's really taken ill after the Guardians went all terrorist. What I need is some clear info that hasn't been combed over and cleaned up by the army. I heard a little from Dorothy about the kidnapping in Zeus. Look, let me get right to the point. I know you got Colonel Richard by the proverbial tail. I just need to know how hard you're holding on. Way to be blunt there. Sounds like you've already figured out an awful lot. I knew he was crooked. Before that interview in our magazine bumped up his popularity, he wasn't really well known or worth paying attention to. Seems like this guy's been planning his moves every step of the way. Right now, we can't say for sure that he's planning some kind of treason against the throne. But it does look like he's manipulating the Duke somehow. Duke Duan. He's taking advantage of the Queen's poor health and acting like he owns Grancel Castle, alright. But what I don't get is why none of the military bigwigs are making their move. Well, about that. What do you think, Joshua? Should we tell him? Well, we could definitely use some fresh intel ourselves. As long as he scratches our backs, let's scratch his. Hey now, you two know something, don't you? We would have told you sooner, but anything we say from here on out has to be completely off the record. I hope you're ready for this. Ah, shit. I'm really not going to like this, am I? But fine, say what you gotta say. You said you were ready for this. That's just... no way. Are you really serious? I'm afraid so. The Special Ops soldiers were behind the Sky Bandit incident as well as the arson. Not to mention the kidnapping of the kingdom's greatest scientific mind. General Morgan is at the top of the chain of command, and even he's basically under arrest. All the terrorist-style activities are being made to look out like the guardsmen are doing it. Okay, enough. You've made your point. Damn it all, I can't even report a word of this. The Army's censors already have their stamps all over the latest issue. They did their work at the final printing stage. Really? And I'm left with nothing to cover except for this damned tournament. Hey, wait a minute. You two have something up your sleeves, don't you? That's why you're in the tournament. You could say that. We can't give you all the details on our current request. We do, however, think that we need to make a move just to break the deadlock. You don't say. Alright then. Since I can't do anything as a reporter, I might as well pitch in. I'll see what I can dig up. I've got a few sources with fingers in places the guild would never go. That'll be a big help. Doing anything to oppose the military is going to be a risky proposition, you know. Are you sure you're okay with this? Let me deal with that. Now, as good a chance as ever to prove that the pen really is mightier than the sword. Neil? Understood. Thank you. Yeah, just leave it to me. So, what do you want more information on? Info about the army's movements would be good, as would knowing whether or not all of the royal guardsmen have been arrested, and also where General Morgan is being held. Got it. All stuff that I've been thinking about too. I'll check them out. Anything else? Maybe some background info on someone in the intelligence division. Huh? You mean like a background check? On Colonel Richard, Captain Amethea, and Second Lieutenant Lawrence. If we have to face any of them, the more we know, the better our odds. If you know the enemy and know yourself, you need not fear the result of 100 battles. And you can bet that the Colonel's working on the same principle. He'll probably be watching the fights tomorrow and the next day. Do you think you can manage it, Neil? I do know a few army folks. I can't get you anything classified, but I might be able to scarce up that profile info. Okay then, I'll see what I can do. Thank you, you're a lifesaver. We appreciate it. Hey, don't sweat it. You can pay me back by winning that championship and filling me in on what you hear at that dinner party. I figured as much. We'll do everything we can. Afterwards, Estelle and Joshua returned to their hotel room where they retired early for the night. The next morning. Well, we are all seem accounted for. Shall we be off? Our match is in the afternoon, just like yesterday, so we're free to do as we please in the meantime. We can stop by and get our equipment set up, and maybe even work in a little monster killing on the way. Oh, if that's what you're after, I know exactly where to go. And Estelle told them about the key to the sewers that the Ravens had given her and Joshua. You don't say. That's mighty interesting. I hear there are some tough monsters down there, so maybe they'll prove to be worthy opponents. Oh, okay. Excuse me if I don't pronounce this right, but I've never read this word before. Byzantine labyrinth snaking out beneath this jeweled city. My adventurer's bosom strains its corset strings. I have no problem with that, provided that we have time. I think the entrance is just at the edge of Western Block's residential district. Well, now that we kind of got that figured out, well, let me go ahead and get some new equipment since we got that prize money from the from the tournament. Since we couldn't get everything we wanted at the time, or no, not here. Store next door. It'd be nice if we could get some stronger gear here, but of course the sad thing is we can only buy a shield coat, and only one of it. And then we could pick up the weapons, but I think they're kind of strong enough as they are, so I'll just pick up the one shield coat and have to be happy with that. Actually, I should probably go ahead and sell all those equipment I have for that, along with these two, since I don't need these anymore. As I said, you can save all the equipment if you want, because there is, or at least if you have one of each, that I think should fulfill the achievement for having all the equipment or something, but I prefer the money. Since, you know, now that we have 67,000, we should be pretty good in picking up 3 more for everyone else. And, hopefully I can, of course, use it for some other stuff as well. Or for other characters if we pick up anyone else in it for our parties. I forget when the party changes, but I'm certain we don't keep this same party for the rest of the game. But let's see. Yeah, I was trying to find out where the sewers are, but before we do that, I think there should be a request now. Yeah, here we go. Sewer Monster West. And we have a long time to complete it, apparently. So, but let's go ahead and check out that sewer area for a bit and kind of see what experience we can get, if it's worth doing a bit of grinding down there or not. Okay, now that's the castle, so no sewers are probably around there. Let's see, head for the sewers from the last street. The entrance is in the west block. Okay, just had to remind myself where it was again. So let's see, so we saw over this way would be the Harbor District, so I'm guessing the sewers should be down somewhere over here near that coffee shop. Nope. That's for sale sign. Easy conversion to restaurant. Huh. I wonder if that has any significance later. And there's the sewers. So let's go ahead and check it out, because there's always... I'm sure there must be some treasure down here or something. Along with the monsters, of course, but... Okay, here's our first one. Looks like a mix between a shell, or a crab monster and a slime. Mad Snail. Let's see, conch shell monster lurking in water, has other skills besides a hard shell for defense. Weak to fire, wind, and earth. So we got plenty of options. But I'll just go ahead and go with the old Gehenna here, which should work out. And I'm guessing the shell probably gives them high defense, so we should probably focus on just using arts to take him down in this case. Let's see, and what's the forte? Okay, just temporarily boosts strength by fire, and it only works on a single person, so definitely don't really care to use that right away. So it looks like magic is definitely the way to go for these guys. Since we're doing quite a bit of damage to them.
99.
And we both got level ups pretty quickly actually, so. And Joshua learned Evil Eye. Oh, interesting. I'm not sure what that will do, but I'm sure we'll find out when we take a look at it in our next battle. Oh, here's another shell monster. I'll go ahead and do an attack and see if that can get some decent damage in or not. And apparently it did. So maybe they don't have as high defense as I figured they would. Okay, well the crit kind of did most of the work, but it looks like we should be able to take care of them with just physical attacks alone right now. Since we seem to be doing enough damage and we have these crits.
They messed with the wrong guy.
So they're not too bad, but they're definitely good experience for Joshua and Estelle. So just a few more of these battles and I may be able to get another level in. After the challenge the Ravens posed to us, I do feel like they could use a level or two to help things out. But I'll go ahead and go back to using some arts, since that does pretty good damage. And unless we have a critical, I don't think we'll get much physical damage in. But since you guys have seen most of this already, I figured I'd fast forward a bit.
Enjoy the show.
They're definitely not the hardest monsters to take on with our group, but as I said, with just a few more of these battles, we'll probably level up once more, which I think should be good as any to kind of take on the next tournament. And this sewer area is definitely extensive. There's plenty of stuff and things to look around. It's too bad we don't have a map. And there's that treasure chest I was hoping to find. And we've found this chest at least. I say, didn't you loot me once before already? No, I'm pretty sure I haven't. Treasure chest. And here's a new one we haven't faced. Looks like a cross between a butterfly and a rabbit and a hummingbird? Yeah, definitely pretty weird looking, and it's called a great moth. An insect with wings that sheds petrifying scales, becomes quicker after being wounded, severely weak to fire. Definitely something to remember. But of course, I'll keep making use of White Gehenna here. And let's see, let's go ahead and make use of some fire. I'll try to target one of these from the back here. And then of course the Firebolt EX should be useful here too. About right here should be good. And they definitely hit hard enough, but I should be able to be just fine with these arts attacks I'm setting up for. So yeah, definitely White Gehenna is going to be one of the better attacks you could possibly learn for this game. With the ability, with the damage it does, the area it covers, and the ability to feint is also pretty good too. That way you don't have to worry about enemies attacking you for a while, which in big groups is always a relief. And it looks like we got plenty of seep for it too. So this should help out as well in case we ever need some more money. Oh, this is interesting. Oh, this must be the monster the request was looking for. Well, before we go into it, we should make sure we're fully healed and ready. Let's see. Well, that should be all we should need to take this on, so let's go ahead and see what happens. Wow. That's a whole lot of moles. Let's see. A nocturnal monster aims for enemies' weak points with its claws, weak against arts. Damn. That is severely weak. You know, the highest number I've seen out of any monster, so it looks like you should definitely try to use arts when you can. And I'll go ahead and do some defense since he doesn't have any AoE moves and we want to keep our high arts users alive here. Since there's actually quite a few here, I'll go ahead and make use of aerial here since I can control it a bit better in terms of placement. And of course White Gehenna too. Of course it'd probably be better to try and use elements instead of White Gehenna since they shouldn't take any more, you know, any extra damage from that since it's not an element on their table. But it still does a decent amount of damage, doesn't it? So this should be a pretty easy quest to complete that you can do right away. As I said, elemental art's really powerful. Always have a few around. And we pretty much got the XP we needed for another level. And it looks like it might take a while to get to the next one though, so I'll still look around a bit more, see if I can find those treasure chests I'm looking for. Since I would like to try and pick those up. But it looks like I'll need to go a different route if I want to get to them. Let's try down here then, or... Oh, cool, there's apparently a lever and a secret wall, but I guess, you know, we can't go through here yet. See, another chest. The chest is empty because you emptied it, thief. Well, they at least make sure they give him something to say. But it looks like there's really no paths I can find around here that lead me to where those chests are. Yeah, pretty much I have to find that doorway for that one, and then there's this doorway, but as I said, there doesn't seem to be any more path that leads to these doors at all, so I'll have to find another way. So definitely a bit of a labyrinth. Don't be shocked now, but it's empty. Yeah, definitely a bit of a labyrinth, but it doesn't seem too bad to kind of keep yourself oriented or figured out where you're going. Okay, here's another stairs. Oh, another chest in the middle of the island here. The chest is empty. Are you surprised? Nope, I'm not. But yeah, so it looks like this area here I pretty much found what I can. Yeah, it looks like we won't be getting those treasure chests anytime soon by the look of it. Actually, I haven't checked this area quite yet, so let's see what we can find. Oh, a chomping spare rib. The chest is empty, so empty it hurts. Not for me, it doesn't. But let's see. I'm curious what it was I just picked up. So it's not an an accessory. Oh, here we go. Chomping spare rib. Okay, I'm not sure why I should be finding food in the sewers, but I guess it's a recipe I haven't learned yet. And it gives plus 15 to strength and defense. That's really nice. So I'll definitely have to make use of that. But it looks like pretty much there's really not much else to do until we, I think, unlock the other area. The east sewer block. But yeah, so I think for the most part I'm about as high as I really need to be since I just gained 2 levels. I'm not sure the okay, they still give out quite a bit of XP, so if I were to fight like 10 of them, I could probably level up once more. And, you know, with how kind of strong our team is, it shouldn't take that long. Since we're also pretty fast too, so, you know, it's pretty much just only us that's attacking.
Enjoy the show.
Yeah, so with actually the speed we're going at, I think I can get one more level in, just to be certain. Because it's kind of like, if they give you this option for this sewer down here to level up, then and since there's like not much else to really explore or look around until you get further into the story. Okay, I wasn't actually expecting that defense up there, so I should probably make use of some arts here to try and get some extra damage in. They're almost like metapods, how they keep, you know, healing up and increasing their defense. But still, nothing I couldn't handle. But yeah, so I think, yeah, as I said, I'll pick up one more level around here, and then I should be good for the tournament. Of course, it's just my preference. I always like to be overly prepared. You know, I still remember the that one boss battle back in Ruin when we fought those evil hellhound dogs from the mayor,
Savor the victory.
and just how terrifying those were and how powerful they were. I definitely had some trouble facing them down. So of course I want to make sure I avoid that, and the last enemies we did face were pretty tanky. It took us a while to actually do anything to them, even though they were those punk ravens we took on in back in Ruin again. But yeah, it looks like we only have 100 XP left, so 2 more battles should do it, and then we can head out of here.
Savor the victory.
Yep, just 1 more battle should do it. And as I'm not sure if I've mentioned this before, but when it comes to grinding, you know, you pretty much do want to try and limit the amount of tedium to it as much as possible, or at least you know, let it be something fun. Didn't see any more monsters, but I'll see if this resets the them to spawn or not. Because I just need to fight 1 more and I'll level up. Yep, here they are. And it also does help that in this game they haven't filled the entire areas with just monsters everywhere you look. They kind of have them spaced out here and there. So you either know where you're looking for or you can avoid them if you want. But we just got our level. So we should be pretty good now, and I'll head back to the inn to rest up. And then I should be ready for the tournament. Wrong way. That's the only issue with loading screens sometimes, is how you get oriented into a different position so your controls change a bit depending on your camera's angle. Let's see. Oh yeah, the inn is up here, if I recall. Okay, here we are. A bit expensive, 200, but still a lot cheaper than some of the meals around here. But yeah, so those treasures we saw, you know, in the sewer, we'll probably have to try and get them later on. But for now, you'll have to join me next time when we enter into the grand tournament and face off against our opponents. Until then, have fun gaming.